Hello and welcome. Hope you're having a good day there. Today I'm going to do a low motor mount on my Honda Civic there. And this video is not going to be quite a step-to-step how-to. I might afterwards take all my video clips and make one. But this is going to be more of an adventure where I invite you to come along with me and see how I tackle this problem. So let me show you on my Civic. So right behind that wheel, right back there, you can kind of see the silhouette where the body of the car meets right there on the horizontal, right there. So this motor mount sits in there and it bolts up. In the past, and a lot of people, the way I've seen them do this is they have to actually get the car up, get that wheel off, and then lower. You can usually get it off, but you usually have to lower the engine a little bit to get this motor mount on. And I'm thinking probably there's got to be a way to do it without lowering the motor. And so that's going to be my goal today, see if I can actually do that. I don't know if I can or not, so I'm just going to have you come along with me and see if we can get this done. Alright, so I'm getting ready to start. First thing I did is I set the parking brake in the car, make sure it's good and secure. That'll lock your back wheels. You don't want the car moving around on you. And I got a jack stand here and I got one on the other side. I'll show you where the lift points is. Basically all I'm going to do is jack up the front of the car, and there's a lip right there. Right there where you put the jack stand over there, and on the front I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Right there is your lift point for the front. I just put the jack right there, lift it up. Here's a better perspective from the front there. Again, the lift point's just going to be right there. Just put my jack under there. There you go. Okay, we got things up in the air. Jack stands in the right spot, and I like to leave the jack in position. And I can't really see it. Anyways, in case something happens, somebody could go over there and jack that car off me if it fell on me or something. So it's just not really doing anything, but it's in position to be lifted. If you don't have an impact gun, you want to loosen these nuts, wheel nuts, off before you lift the car up. I got an impact gun, so whenever I forget to do it, like now, if I can't get it with a wrench, I'll just hit it with an impact gun to loosen those up. So yeah, I'll show you a little trick here. I was feeling a little lazy, so I just happened to have a 2x4 laying around. Instead of grabbing out my impact gun, I just put that under the wheel. Should always torque these on, and they're only like 80 foot-pounds or something like that, so I just cheated, broke it loose with that. So now I'm just going to take off the tire. Alright, so we got the wheel off. Just set the lug nuts aside there, wheel over there, and I'll show you what we're working on. And for some reason all the black widows decided to camp out my car. It's getting close to fall, I guess, and it's cooled down. It was really hot. I think that drove them all into the climbing all over where they can make webs. So see if this will come up here. You can see this motor mount that's broken. This is the one we're dealing with. So getting it off should be fairly easy. Just gonna shoot this with some WD-40, let it soak for a little bit, and then take this nut off. And then there's some bolts up on top there, just holding that in. Alright, I want to show you some stuff for waiting here. You want to look at your parts you're working on. In this case, it's got one hole in the back, two in the front, and it's got a longer piece that extends out. And so you kind of want to look at what you're working with and then what we're going to work on, and make sure things look like they're matching up. So I'm going to go under here for you, and as you can see, There's two holes here, a bolt in right here and a blank one right there, so that tells me that's the front. And then there's a bolt like that on the back side. Let's see if I can see it. It's showing up right there. And then you'll notice that the long sides points towards the engine, or that bracket right there. So all I'm going to do now, I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. I'm probably going to take this off and then loosen these bolts, and this will probably drop down a little bit. We'll see what happens. Alright, let me show you where we're at. So I took the two, these are 14mm bolts out, and this was up here. As you see, it was kind of shot there. Anyhow, get down here. So, you know, the front bolt, which is actually the back bolt on the front, and the one on the other side, which is over here somewhere. Anyhow, this nut right here is like tighter than it is back here, so when I turn it, it's turning the whole deal. So I gotta get this off, and let's see, what was the deal? So anyway, so that's what I'm fighting with right now. Oh, I wanted to show you this plastic cover is in the way, and I can't get like a socket or an impact in from this thing, and I don't have a wrench this big, so I'm just using a crescent wrench, and but it's unscrewing the whole thing, so we'll kind of see what happens. So that's kind of what I'm fighting with right now. Okay, an update where we're at here. See, it's getting really loose. It's kind of funny because I have to use the wrench to turn it just to get the rubber part just around. Oh, there it went by hand. But you can see the threads. See, I'm turning it. Just loosen it, the whole thing's turning. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just, it's almost ready to come off. Anyways, keep working on that and see what happens after we get that out. Okay, finally got it off, and this has like a washer built into it, and I wonder if you're supposed to put some Loctite. Anyways, you know, it went in there. So basically we got the whole thing out right now. So the next thing I got to do is work on trying to get this nut off into this bolt so I can reuse it. So I started having a hard time getting that nut off. I was at the point where I was like, I'll just buy that bolt and nut and the washer set up. They want $11 for this bolt, so I was like, whoops, no, I ain't gonna do that. And I thought I was gonna have to get a vise and stuff. Anyways, what I did is I took my impact gun. It's just it's a pretty powerful one, and I just stepped on it and hit it with the impact gun, and it took it off. So I really lucked out there. And oh, I didn't know it had this. Man, that would have been so much easier. But I probably couldn't get it with the nut on. So that's how I'm going to put it back in. I don't know if I should put some Loctite on there to prevent that in the future. Probably a little bit of corrosion going on there. Probably held that nut on pretty tight. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm glad I got this part. Oh, and this is tapered. Look at that. And so, anyways, we'll see how that all goes together. I wonder if that goes all the way there. We'll figure that out. Anyways, so if you get that stuck on there and the whole thing comes out on you, just use the impact gun and step on it and it should come off. I hit it with some WD-40, but it didn't penetrate that much in there, but apparently it did its job though. Anyway, so I thought I'd show that. Okay, show you where we're at here. So I used a 14mm wrench to put that bolt back in, so I'll show you. There it is right there. And you know, you just use the box and just put it on there. Tighten that in. And so this is in nice and tight. But look how close this sits up close here. The splash guard's in a little bit in the way, but it's not really worth me, I don't think, taking off, because see this lip here? It dips in, but then there's the lip just picks up right on the, I wonder if I can get that on camera. I can't see what you're seeing. Oh, maybe I could do this there. So yeah, so there's a metal lip right behind here, so it's right up against the splash shield. So it looks like if you took the splash shield off you get more room, but it's not really a matter. And so you got to get this way up in here, and there's just no way you're gonna, you know, get that in there. Let me show you from another angle. Okay, so you can see here's the back metal lip. The splash shield, you know, it's right here. I've shown you that metal lip in front of it, and there's just no way you're gonna pull that down by hand. Now I've seen guys do it, but I'm wondering if there is a very slight modification. The 96 through 2000s are all pretty much the same vehicle, but there was a slight break between 99 to the 98 and the 99s, and I'm wondering if the guys you see doing it are doing it on a little bit different model. This is a 99. It's not worth me trying to fight this. There's no way I'm strong enough to pull this down. It does move a little bit, but it'd have to move like inches to get that on. So, and this video was an attempt to see if I thought I could get this on just all purely working right here, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to probably drop back to my old school method of, I'm going to actually lower the engine, I think, because it's just not worth fighting. If somehow I manage to do it, I don't know how, I just don't see this going to happen. See, that's metal right there. There's just, I can barely get my finger in there. And you see how far I got to drop that down? It's got to come out and drop. I mean, this is going to be way out here to get it on. And I looked at trying to take this off, putting this on, and then try to screw it in, but you kind of get the same problem. Because the threads are so long where it goes in here, the bolt sticks way out here. Anyhow, so I'll just pick this up probably tomorrow. It's getting kind of late. It's going to get dark soon. Alright, so next day here, got up kind of early in the morning. I got an appointment so I could get this car going. So here I'll show you. I'm dropping back to plan B because couldn't get it in the bottom there. Anyways, I'm going to loosen these two bolts. What I want to do is I want to relieve pressure on those bolts, because those are holding the engine there. And so I needed to put the jack stand down here. And I'll show you what I did with that. What I decided to do is, if you look at the what's going to hold the engine up anyways, or not necessarily hold it up but support it, is this bracket. So all I did is I put the jack on that. I don't know if that's showing up there. There we go. Hopefully you can see it's just like a little nub that sits down on the thing. And I just pushed it up enough to where it creaked just a little bit. I'm not like lifting up the whole engine, it's just a support. And I just went up just enough to where I could tell I'm lifting, because I don't want to break that. I don't think it would break, but this is hardened, and that almost looks like it's made out of aluminum, but I don't know. But anyways, it does, it's the arm that holds that weight, so that should be okay. And putting a lift point right where I think I need it. Anyways, let me get the camera going. I'd have better put it on the pod there, and I'll let you watch me take those top bolts out, or take the top nuts off. Okay, let you see what I'm doing. I'm pretty much already done it. It's not too exciting, but you can see the spot right there. Sorry, trying to work the camera with gloves on. So I just used a cheater bar, broke that loose. So I'm going to back one out, so most of the weight's going to be on that other one. stuck down there. There we go. Okay, all I'm gonna do, see what it looks like there. See, I got that nut backed off. When I start backing that front one, my theory is the engine's gonna drop. So I'm gonna put you at a cool camera angle where you can watch the bottom actually lower. So let me get that set up for you. Okay, here you go. So I can't really see this, so give me a yell when I get this down. Anyway, so my thing is, hopefully I'll get this down enough to where that can get in there. So I'm gonna go up top side there and start lowering that. Okay, it's actually, it probably didn't even drop because I think the weight's on that jack, so I'm going to undo that. So that probably look pretty cool down there. I'm going to see if I can, yeah, I'm going to drop it down some more. Might as well make this easy. Alright, let's see how this is going to go. Remember the, oops, let me zoom out. You're going to put your two holes in front. Oh, this is kind of funny. It's still a little bit tricky just because it's hitting that plastic stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna pause the camera while I climb under there and fight with this. I wonder if it's almost there, but I just gotta figure it out. Alright, I got it on there. I just kind of fiddled around with it, actually lowered it down a little bit more, probably a max. I'm actually gonna try putting this back together a little bit different. I'm actually gonna lift the engine to where I feel it's not putting any tension on that, and then I'm gonna snug stuff up based on that. So I guess I'll do a combination of lifting it and jacking it up. So I'm just going up top and tighten the bolt down. Actually, that was all with the jack. It's working a lot easier than I thought it would. So I want to show you something up top, which is kind of a good thing I was doing this. Oh, how's that looking? Yeah, so while I'm down here, oh no, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to put these in real quick. Maybe not so quick, I need an extension. Anyhow, so let me show you something up top. So I'm pretty much, at this point, you know, I can see the end of the tunnel. I'm pretty much done. But as I was doing this, I was noticing, look at that. That top motor mount's all cracked up down there. Probably with the weight of the engine, when it's all, you know, loaded up, it probably compresses that, and I couldn't see that crack. So I'll do that piece next. But we'll get this bottom one, which is a hard one, done first. Yeah, I want to show you that crack again. Check this out. It's kind of cool. It's optical illusion. So you know you can't really see it there, but if I pan you up, it starts becoming a little bit more noticeable. So look how it's actually kind of big if you get at a good angle, but if you kind of just pop the hood and look at it, you can't see the crack there. That's kind of weird. Anyways, what I did was, I did some shooting after this. It's kind of a weird cut scene because I bumped the camera door and it slammed shut and it like reset the media. So I had to upload what I had. I thought I lost everything. I had to format the SD card and get things going again. Anyway, sorry about that. But I'll show you what I did where we left off. Is basically I set the bolts up there and they're in tight, and I let my, I put the bottom motor mount in. I'll show you. I got those bolts there and they're in tight, and then I just kind of like made this be sort of in the center so it's not loaded up too much. I don't know how much tension really should be on there. I mean, it's probably hitting the side and stuff, but I'm gonna try that, see how that feels, because it really doesn't really talk about that. And I wonder if that's why these things crack so much when they get replaced. I wonder if they're just being loaded up too much. We'll find out, see how it feels. So now all I gotta do is put this lock washer. It's just got a little flat side to it, so I'm just gonna fiddle around with that, get that on there, and then put that nut on the end of there. Okay, I think pretty much done. All I did is put that nut in there. It had two beveled sides in it, so, or the washer I'm talking about. So when you put it in, it doesn't keep spinning on you, which is kind of a cool design. And then I just put this nut on, snugged it down, and we got a new motor mount. It's going to be interesting to see how it feels, but then again, it's cracked on the top. Well, that makes another video to do later on. Anyway, so that was my struggle with how I did that lower motor mount. And as you see, a lot of times when you make these videos, you just kind of go with it and figure stuff out as you go along. And like this operation doesn't talk about any of this inside the official manual or anything. It just says switch it out. It gives you some torque specs. Anyways, hope you found this adventure interesting, and thank you for watching.